Officially. Thank you very much, everyone, for joining. For those of you who are live with us on Zoom or those who are on Facebook, welcome to Friday with Metseng. This is a special edition. We have we have Boitumelo Titus who's joining us today, and we're very proud of you, Tumi. Very happy to
Thank
have you.
you.
Yeah. As most of you will know, we have these every Friday, and we have them at 2 o'clock. But today we've done a special one at 1 o'clock for Tumi to come and talk to us about when to launch. And just very briefly, Tumi or Boitumelo, she goes by either one, has been working with us in Metseng and HBX for the past few months, working on her business, working in her business at the same time as well as most entrepreneurs do. And we're very, very pleased to be able to welcome you, Tumi, to come and talk to us about when to launch. We know you've just gone through the launch process. You've just launched some new functionalities, some new features that you're gonna talk us through.
Yeah.
But I think for the viewers and the listeners out there, I think the important thing here is really to listen to the story and to hear as Tumi shares the lessons of launching, because it is a fearful time sometimes. I think there's a lot that can go wrong, and a lot that does go wrong as you go through. So, Tumi, let me hand over to you and welcome and thank you very much for taking your time. I know it's been a crazy, crazy few weeks for you. So I'm very pleased that you've been able to give us some time and to talk through this. So I'll hand it straight over to you. We are recording. We'll make the recording live. But for now, let's listen to Tumi.
All right. Okay. Thank you so much, Andrew. I really appreciate the time. Thank you so much, Meeting. It's such a great opportunity, and actually, I'm really excited about this. It's not every day that we're able to share our lessons and the things that we learn along the way. So I really hope that it helps someone. Yeah, so the topic is when to launch. As Andrew has just said, I've just launched a product in my business, and it's been a roller coaster of emotions, but most importantly, it's been fun and it's been great. So I'm keen to tell you all about it, and I hope there's questions at the end because yeah, it will be great, to hear, your experiences or if you have any questions. Okay, so I'll start. Um, these are the main topics that we're going to discuss today. I'm just going to introduce myself and my business, which is Bala-Box, explain to you a little bit about our business model, um, what has worked and what didn't work, and then some pointers, that you can consider if you want to launch your business. Now, this is based on personal experience and my own lessons along the way, and I want to just make that point very clear. Um, but we all have different experiences, so yeah, I'll just start. And also, if I'm mumbling, please, it's not, and I'm all over the place, it's because there's so much that I want to talk about. So much has happened.
We'll forgive you as long as you allow us to jump in
Yeah,
every now and then.
exactly. So, yeah, okay. Thank you. Okay, so I'll just start by introducing myself. Yes, I'm Boitumelo, and I actually started Bala-Box a year ago. Prior to that, I worked for a fintech company, and we used to give loans to MBA students, MBA and postgraduate students all over the world. So it was an exciting, you know, uh, sort of field of work. We used to travel quite a lot, and that was exciting. But I then decided to come to Bala-Box because I'm really fascinated about promotional products, and I'll explain a little bit about that. So basically, at the fintech company that I used to work at, we used to give students promotional products, and we used to call them swag. So if I remember, we were at London Business School, for example, and they would give them, certain swag items like jackets and USB ports that they could use and pens and all of that. And it basically was something that used to bring the students in, and they would, want to come to us because of that. And so I was curious to find out, like, why promotional products and what does it do for marketing? And that's why, I started Bala-Box. And I also used to spend a lot of time with the marketing team, although they would always kick me out, but I would always want to, find out about what new swag items were coming up, what they were doing for every single season, and, just give my input in that sense. So yeah, that was Bala-Box, and we've been operational since last year. And it's one journey that I don't regret, because it's been just amazing. Um, and then actually, I joined Meeting in June, so it wasn't that long ago. And I want to say that because it's so exciting how so much has happened, since June. I think my mentorship sessions, Andrew, we started in June, right? So around late June.
Yeah, yeah.
And yeah, it was at an awkward time during COVID, the pandemic. We were in lockdown, and for me as a business owner, as a small business and young business owner, and young, I mean my business being young, it was so overwhelming because all of a sudden events closed, which meant that um, our industry was affected, and I would hear people always talking about, you need to pivot, you need to pivot. And I'd be like, and I'd ask myself, pivot what, where, how, how do I now go about and pivot? How do I do it? What do I need to do? When all of the events are closed. And it's been amazing how right now I'm able to say that we are launching the first product of for Bala-Box, through this whole journey. Um, I want to speak a little bit about our unique selling point as a business. I just feel like that is important because you need to have a unique selling point. You need to have something that differentiates you from your competitors or from other people that are doing the same thing that you are. And what we do at Bala-Box, we are a corporate gifting and clothing company. We provide branded products, and we follow a consultative approach to the way that people do branding. And what I mean by that is, if you look at, you probably all own a pen, right? Um, and what we do is we want to understand, or make our clients understand, why they are going for a pen as opposed to a technology item. So we will look at the company's culture, the organization itself, what they're trying to achieve, the industry that they're in, and we use all of that to determine the type of promotional products that will yield a higher investment on return in their marketing efforts. And this has worked quite well for us, because a lot of businesses would get pens just because they have a marketing budget, right? Or they would get certain items just because they have to. And when you start asking them the questions and they start thinking about, oh my gosh, this is what we should have done for this promotional event, I think that that is when then they realize how important promotional products are and how effective a marketing tool it actually is. I always make the example of if you have a t-shirt, for example, with your brand on, it gets people talking because they're wondering, what you do and who you are. And what that also does is you become a billboard, a walking billboard for your business, and that is marketing. That is a way to market your product in a very inexpensive way. And that's why I love promotional products and what we do as well. And I just want to give like I've got many examples, but just one brief example of why we follow a consultative approach. There was a lady who had asked on a group, a Facebook group. It's like a Facebook marketplace sort of group, where there's a lot of people in that group. And literally, if you post, like, for example, I'm looking for pens, you'll find 200 responses there. And then, you know, by the time you get to it, you're like, oh, 200 people have already responded already. And this was the same case. She wanted a hoodie, and, you know, I decided to actually call her and ask her, you know, what kind of hoodie she was looking for. And I asked her probing questions that made her actually think about the reason why she wanted the hoodie. And it may be a small thing, but she said to me, look, you know what, out of all of these people, you're the only person that's actually asked me the reason why I want this. You're the only person that asked, that knows that this is for a movement that I'm really passionate about. And you actually sound like you care, you know, about what I'm trying to do. And she was like, you know what, for that reason, I'm just going to go with you guys, you know. And I find that very important, because promotional people find promotional products as things that they have to do, but they don't really understand why. And I think it's very important that you understand why, so that you're able to measure the return on investment at a later stage. Okay. Another unique selling point of ours is we help customers appreciate their employees. And we feel that this is very important because in South Africa, especially, you know, people talk about, or rather, we need to focus on happiness in the workplace. And one of the things that you can do to appreciate your products is your employees, sorry, is provide them with corporate gifts. Um, and how that works is, you know, I always tell some of our clients is that when I joined the fintech company that I used to work for, when I came to my desk for the first time and I sat down, I actually received a box that had, you know, a notepad, a nice note saying welcome, you know, and that made me feel appreciated, you know. So you want to make your employees feel appreciated. So find ways to help to appreciate them through the use of promotional products or corporate gifts. Um, and you know how you can you know, a lot of companies ask, so why do I need to do this for them? And I'm like, if you could see how it could impact you in a positive way, you would actually do it. Because if you look at, you provide somebody with the box that I was telling you, for example, on their first day of work, and you are trying to recruit people, what they will do is they will post that on their social media, and then people will see that, wow, this is the kind of company that I want to work for, you know. So in that way it benefits you know, both the employee and the employer, you know, in that sense. So that's basically our unique selling point as a business. Oopsie. Okay. And this is just a bit of our business model. And I just want to say that, you know, as I was saying earlier, it's taken so long to get here, to get here and say, this is our business model. And prior to, you know, my mentorship with Mating, none of this was, you know, the way that it is now. It was just, I wanted to do this and that and that. And it took me a long time to kind of figure out where we want the business to be and what it is that I feel will actually work. And so it's taken a lot of research. It's taken, you know, asking a lot of my customers what they want, which I feel that is very important, but we'll touch on it later on. So I just wanted to emphasize on that point, is that getting to where we are now has taken quite, you know, a long time and a lot of work. And so I'm very, very excited about the fact that we can now say that we actually have a business model. It helps us know where we are going and what to do next. So how our business model works is, we've got the on-demand printing part, we've got the swag kits part, and then we've got promotional products. And I'm just going to explain each of them. So for on-demand printing, we want to give businesses, small businesses, the opportunity to be able to sell their own products. So for example, as a small business myself, I've been turned away from a lot of people when I say that I want quantities of small quantities, like I want 2 jackets or whatever. And we want to help companies like that and be like, hey, we can help you with whichever quantity products you need, right? So if people want to start, for example, clothing lines where they need branded products, we want to be able to help them, in a way that doesn't cost them, or in a way that doesn't mean that they have to get equipment, because we've got all that, and we want to be able to help them. A lot of, life is going towards digital, drop shipping and all of that, and we want to be that kind of service through our on-demand printing, and to make it cheaper and accessible to people that want to start businesses without them having to break the bank. The second part is the swag kits, which I have touched on a little bit. It's just about, company employee appreciation, client appreciation. For example, we're getting to the end of the year now, and people need to thank their clients for the year. I think more importantly, what we were actually speaking to our clients about during COVID was, what have you done to appreciate your clients, your employees during this time? Have you sent them a little care package? It could be like a sanitizer and a work from home kit with a mouse pad, a pen, a notepad, to just say, hey, we're thinking about you during this time. We know that it is tough. So that's the type of thing that we do there with the swag kits, is to actually help customers appreciate their employees and their clients by providing them with good quality products that they'll use as well. And that's what we actually strive for. Is there's so many different products, and I remember telling Andrew that there's over 25,000 different products that people don't understand, and Andrew's like, 25,000? I'm like, yes, there's so many different products. And if you look at a pen, for example, if you give your client a pen, they probably have thousands of them already, or hundreds of them already. They just use a particular pen that they like. But if we look at what if you know your clients well, right, and you know that for example, they travel a lot, why don't you get them a gift that goes along with their travel? So like I don't know, a lock, maybe a bag lock that is branded, and in that way you remain top of mind. Your client will always think about you. They will always remember you for that, right? So that's what we want to do with the swag kits. And the last part is the promotional products. We do have clients that already know what they want, right? And we want to be able to provide them with those products. If they want notepads, then we're able to source them and get them branded for them in large quantities as well. And that's basically Bala-Box's business model. Okay, I'm gonna go, excuse me, to the next slide. Okay, so just some steps to launching. I just want to say that, these steps are not like cast in stone. So you don't have to follow them step by step. It's just based on my personal experience and just what I have learned along the way, with my launch, launching Bala-Box and now launching a new product.
I think that's
Um,
important as well, to me. I mean, if you think
mm,
about it, sorry to jump in, but
yeah,
you've said a few times, we are listening to your experience, and someone can go on a course on how to launch, and they can pick up a book on how to launch, and there's step by steps, etc. But the reality is, and COVID is a great example of that, life is not linear. You cannot
yeah,
follow it step by step and reach the end goal. You go from step
yeah.
one to step four to step three, etc. So I think it's great. Rather share experience. People will have a more similar experience rather than step by step.
Yeah, absolutely. And I feel that sometimes that's how people can relate to you as well, is that if you use industry jargon and you're like, I did this and this, people want to speak to real people and
Mm.
understand, how people have actually done it. And sometimes it helps. So I hope this will help. So the first thing that I'll talk about is to know your customer. know your customers, know who your target audience is. And I talk to a lot of people who tell me, I want to start a business. And I'm like, for who? To who? Like, who's your customer? What do they do? Who are they? What do they watch? Um, which places do they like to go? Do they work? How much do they earn? Where do they live? Um, those, if if you can nail that as an entrepreneur, you will survive at this entrepreneurship journey. It is very important that you know your customer in and out, because then you don't only know what they want for now. You will be able to plan and know what they will want in 4 years time. And right, because you're looking at how their businesses are growing, you'll know what they want in 4 years time, in 10 years time, and they will still be your clients, you know, in all of those years, because you know them. And this is a dreadful process, I won't lie to you. This is a process that I, as an entrepreneur, do not like. I don't like this process because it takes so much research. um, but you have to do the work, because once you know, it will make your life so much easier. You will be able to target only people that you know will want your product. I was talking to somebody during the week, and we were talking about Instagram likes. And basically, the conclusion was just that Instagram likes don't mean anything if nobody is buying your product. You can have 100,000 likes, but nobody buying, right? What you would want to do is rather get the unique customer, like your actual target customer that will end up buying from you, you know. um, and they will basically be the ones who are buying for you. So rather have 2,000 likes, right, from people that are actually buying, than 100,000 from people that are actually just looking at your profile. um, and your customers are not just on WhatsApp. And I can't emphasize this enough, because I've seen people sell on WhatsApp. And yes, I do too. Like, I'll post something that Bala-Box is doing. I don't necessarily expect people on my WhatsApp to always be my buyers. And the same goes with Facebook. Like, Facebook is a social platform. My family will buy from me until a certain point, right? It's not going to be sustainable. They're not going to keep buying from me. They will support me, you know, as I start my business. And they're good for social proof, you know, to just show that, to give me reviews, maybe if they like my product or whatever. But it's not sustainable in the sense that I need to keep posting on there, right? There are tools on Facebook that you can use, yes, with your target audience. And that's why your target audience is important, is because you don't just use it to know, you use your target. Even Facebook will ask you, when you put down your ads, for your target audience. And if you know them, it's so much easier, because then you can post for them, right? So just be careful of you know, wanting your customers to always be on your WhatsApp, because we always get upset that people don't support us, but they're not really our target audience, you know. And that is okay. And that's why, if you know your customer, it goes to my next point, which is, you will know how to reach them, because you know where they are, right? You know where they are, you know what they do. You know that they're always on their phones, right? And so they're always on Facebook, for example. And then you will then do Facebook ads to, so that it relates to them. um, and for example, small things like being able to build a mailing list. You know, just offer them something on your website. Offer them something for free. You know, it could be knowledge. um, Offer them something for free, so that they can click there, and then they can potentially become your customers. So those are the little things that you know, you need to know in order to launch, so that you can build that customer base, so that when you do launch, you're able to show them what you have launched, and it can be something that relates to them, and they will in essence want to buy in the end.
And I think to me
Number
something
three.
also,
Mhm.
sorry again, I'm jumping in, but
Yeah.
just very important, I think, for people to understand as well, that Facebook audience builder that you mentioned there for your Facebook ads. You know, if you're someone who's sitting there who's got no real idea of where to start with trying to identify your target audience, then go onto Facebook, go create an ad. You don't have to pay, you don't have to get to the end and check out. but go and have a look at how the system works, because I think it's one of the, I don't say it's the best, but it's certainly one of the most advanced ways for you to go and interrogate and question yourself, and
Mm.
really identify who they are. And then the download as well. I think that's probably, it's one of the easiest things to do actually, is to do something like a free download for people to add themselves to your list. Um, and just be careful and be aware that you're targeting people, who you want to sell your product to. So make sure that the freebie
Yeah.
that you give, or the information that you're giving is in line with the people that you're trying to target, because otherwise you can build up a mailing list very quickly, but it's not necessarily the audience that you want, or people who are going to buy. So
Absolutely, absolutely. And we were also talking about this just now, Andrew, about just building a quality audience so that
that's it.
people will be part of your mailing list. Some of them, you might have a mailing list of 2,000 people. Some of them might drop off, they might decide to cancel their subscription. It's okay. What you're trying to do is to build a quality, list
Yeah.
for your customers. So thank you for that. And then the third one is to do research on what your competitors are doing and find a unique selling point. So, um, I think it's important to know what your competitors are doing in the industry that you're in, because that will sort of help you to find a unique selling point. You don't have to go and copy what they're doing, but some of what they're doing can be helpful, um, but and some of the things you will realize that maybe this is not what I want to do. I look at reviews all the time. So for me, I look at my competitors' reviews, like on Hello Peter or Google Business, for example, just to see what mistakes I don't want to do when it comes to my clients. So research is very, very important. It helps you to find things that you didn't know. So I'm in the printing industry, and so many things could go wrong with different orders. So if I look at reviews and there was a mistake that happened, or the client wasn't happy, then I will know, I will record it somewhere and know not to do it again. So I've got to never to do this list, of things not to do, just so that I can remember and so that I can learn from different people and what they've done. And sometimes, or a lot of the times, our competitors have been through it all. They know it all. So you can learn so much. Um, and yeah, I think that has also helped me to find my unique selling point. For me, I realized that there was a gap in the industry of people not really showing appreciation and making it, um, a big thing, as opposed to internationally, which they do very well. And so that has helped me a lot to figure out what my unique selling point is. Number four, it's also important to position yourself as an expert in your field. Um, it's good to always sell, right? But it's also good for people to know that you know what you're doing, you know about the industry. So, for when you're wanting to launch, get facts that you can post. Don't always post quotes or jokes. Those are nice, yes, once in a while, but post facts about what you do, and facts that are helpful. If you are, I don't know, selling curtains, how you can teach people, you can post about facts about how to take care of your curtains, or what sort of detergents to use, or that sort of thing. So be helpful and position yourself as an expert in your field, so they know that actually this person knows what they're talking about. um Number five is be visible. Have a Facebook profile, an Instagram profile. Just be visible. People are online, and because of COVID, it's even worse. It's even better. Sorry, people. I want to say better because it's a good thing for us as entrepreneurs. Um, so make sure that you're visible. Make sure that you're posting consistently, so that people can, and also show your work, the things that you have done, so that people can actually see and be like, okay, wow, this person is worth it. And I'm just gonna go jump to seven first before I get to six, which is social proof, social proof. And I say social proof twice because social proof is so important. Um, Please, by being visible, you want people to know about your business as well. So small things like Google My Business, it's free. You just go into Google and you click on, you type in Google My Business, and it's basically free. All you have to do is get verified. The process takes about 22 days, but it helps people know that you're actually at a physical place, you know, so they can trust you. Because the first thing that you do when you're looking for something is, if you find a company that sells it, you want to know if they actually exist, right? You want to know if they're good, if they exist. And a lot of small entrepreneurs don't have that. So maybe do a Google My Business, get reviews from people, you know, send them uh, Google My Business even helps you to send them a link to give you a review, you know, and then they can tell you how your services were. But then someone else will come on, will hear about you, and then they'll go on to Google My Business and they'll see the reviews and they'll be like, oh wow, this person is actually good, or I will go with this company. What I've done with my reviews is that I've actually added them to my website as well. You know, just so that people can see that we have worked with people before, you know. Um, okay, so that's it about social proof. I just feel that it's really, really important. Um, and then six is use tools that will help you to be more efficient. And this is Andrew's favorite one. But I think it's taken like a whole month, 3 or 4 weeks of us trying to figure out what would work. And you know, I've just been, you know, asking Andrew all the time, is like, this is what I've tried, this is what I've tried, like and you'll find that as you go along, you know, in business, there are going to be things that don't work. um I tried to get WordPress as my website, and I did actually build a WordPress website during COVID. So sorry, during lockdown, when lockdown actually started, I dedicated that time to build my WordPress website, and it was good until it started to crash, and I think I had a lot to do with that because I have no software experience. um but it was yeah, it kept crashing. And you know, the one thing that I didn't like was when clients would ask me what's going on with my website. And so I had to find something that was efficient and effective for me, and that's why I decided on Shopify. And you know, Shopify, you do have to pay on a monthly basis. It's about 400 Rand on a monthly basis. But for me, because I am the everything of my business, and when I mean I'm the everything, I mean I'm the receptionist, the marketing person, and the finance person. I do literally everything. So I want something that will make my life easier. And that's why I decided to go with Shopify, because with Shopify, people can literally place their orders online. I've integrated my courier with it, so I can literally, it's just a matter of just clicking a button and adding, you know, my courier will make sure that they fulfill it. It's just a process that is seamless and it works, so that I don't have to do everything manually. And I think I've added my Facebook also there to track my traffic, which I think is something that I want to do. I want to be able to see you know, my analytics to determine what works and what doesn't when I do things like ads and all of that. So um, research tools, you know, research on what works, because there's so many things to consider. There's price, there's whether, you know, how good it is, or how easy it works. I like Shopify personally because it's easy for me. I'm not a software person. I don't have any software experience, so it's so easy for a person like me. Whereas Andrew likes to figure things out. He loves WordPress. So yeah, different things work for different people. I think it's important to find what actually works for you. I remember saying to Andrew this one time, you know what, I've tried this WordPress thing. I'm going to use Shopify, and that's it. Like, I've decided this is what I'm going to do. So try different things and see what works for you. That's quite important.
And I
And I
think
want to
also
touch.
importantly there to me is, you know, you don't always have to listen to other people's opinions, or Actually, you can listen to opinions, but reserve the right for decisions for yourself. It's your
Yeah,
decision at the end
absolutely.
of the day. It's your business. That's right.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Um, yeah, and then just some of the mistakes that I made, and I just wanna share this is when the president announced that it's official that people should start wearing masks. I went that night and I posted on my Instagram and my Facebook is that, look, guys, I've got masks. And some of the masks did sell, right? But I bought different types, and there's a certain type that did not sell, and I actually still have them here. I've tried to tell clients that it was my favorite mask, and they still didn't buy it. Um, but those things happen. I happen to buy bulk, and now I'm sitting with a lot of masks, and so I've decided. I mean, they're good masks. It's just that people prefer. Masks are fashion these days. It's a fashion accessory, so people prefer their own type, and so what I then decided to do is that with my launch of Bala-Box on demand, I then decided that, you know what, I'm gonna give a free mask to anybody that signs up on my email list. So there's a pop-up when you go into the website that says get a free mask with your first purchase. Um, then I know in that way that I can get rid of the number one, but also it's giving somebody something for free, and that's just the example that I was talking about. Um, so yeah, I mean, you can do that, or you can say you can add it to your actual price, selling price. So yeah, that's just one of the mistakes that I made. I mean, and another thing, I think I would have launched earlier, but I was just trying to figure out what works. There have been, a few things that there's a lot of things that you need to take into consideration. For example, a courier company, you need somebody that you can trust, right? You need a courier company that you can trust. So I cannot emphasize how important it is to do research. Let's not be lazy. Let's speak to people, find out what works, because at the end of the day, it's to benefit you and your company. And the sooner that you do it, the better. Okay. Okay. Oopsie. Right. Okay, so the last slide is, having said everything that I've said, like, when do you launch exactly? Um, and I've got a few opinions when it comes to this, and this is just my own opinion, just based on my experience again. Um, so number one, preparation is key. We've spoken about preparation. We've spoken about the research that goes into, developing and launching a product or an idea, a business idea. You need to prepare. You need to know the ins and outs. You need to speak to people. You need to know what your clients want. You need to know what works for them and what doesn't. I speak to my clients a lot, and I ask them to, like, honestly just tell me, what they think about products, so that I know what to do better. I do believe in constructive criticism, because I know that it is going to get my business far. So preparation is key. Um, Ask the people around you to test your product or your idea. Um, you know, you can trust the people close to you to be honest with you, about whether something works or doesn't. So we launched yesterday, for example, and something in something didn't work the way that it was supposed to. And then there was load shedding as well. um, Luckily, luckily I could actually get my husband to help me. But just ask the people around you to test your product or idea. um, that's very important, to just so that you can get honest feedback. um, Another thing that I want to speak about is sometimes done is better than perfect. And people who know me well probably think, what is going on with me? But I totally believe this because I'm honestly a recovering perfectionist. And I realize that being a perfectionist is not always a good thing, because you will wait for something to be perfect and you will not launch because you're waiting for it to be perfect. And sometimes it doesn't work that way. So um, I think in our mentorship meeting this week, Andrew, I told you, you know what, Andrew, like this thing is going to launch this week. It is going to launch this week. That is what is happening. It has to be done. The most important things have to be done where I know that the process is seamless and everything. Everything else I will fix along the way.
Yeah.
But just be careful of this. I think there's a fine line, between, perfectionism, if that's a word,
Yep.
and also wanting to get things done. So you need to find a you need to end up doing things. What I'm saying is that you don't always have to wait for things to be perfect. If something works, do it. You can always perfect it as you go along. And this is one of the important things actually that I realized about launching, is that if the important things work, then it's great. I still have to add some more products. But what I wanted to do was to make sure that the ones that I've added actually work, and I'm able to fulfill them now. And, the process just works perfectly. And that brings me to my next and final point, is that you won't stop once you have launched anyway. There's always room for improvement. You will find things that don't work. Technology is not always as friendly to us, especially people like me who don't really know much about technology. So you always have to improve things. You always have to find a better way of doing things. You always sometimes discover that, oh, there's an easier way to do this, and then you will do that. So it doesn't all stop once you've launched. There's always room, for improvement. Just make sure that you record everything so that once you relaunch, or once you launch a new product, that you'll know the steps that you've taken. You'll know the things that you have done to make it work. So I just want to show you quickly how the new Bala-Box site looks. I hope that this will work.
I'm watching. It looks
Oh, there
good.
we go.
There we go.
Yeah. So people will basically go onto the site and they will select an item and the color, and then click whether they want to type their text. If they want to type a text, they can add their own customized artwork. Okay, as you can see, I like playing with fonts. And then they can also select the color that they want. And then basically they can then select the size, add to cart, and then we will fulfill the order from there and make sure that it is delivered to them. And this is basically just testament to the fact that it's a process, but once it starts working, I think it's amazing. The feedback that I've received, as well as how far we have come, to get to this point. And I really hope that this new product that we've launched will actually benefit, other companies and entrepreneurs. I know that people like to personalize their own items. So I've basically said, we're giving you the freedom to basically personalize your own stuff, and we will fulfill it for you. So yeah, thank you so much. I think we're done.
Wonderful. Tumi, thank you so